Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Now, this is CNBC. This is concerning the uh the the draft. It says automatic U.S. military draft registration planned by December. Filing shows December 2026 this year. Right now we're in a time of war because of what Israel and Babylon the Great. You know, uh, uh, because of their war against Iran. Israel dragged Babylon the Great, the U.S., into a world war, and the NATO nations and the EU nations are like, we don't want to help you because this has nothing to do with us. It's all Israel. And Amalek, they want to get paradise on earth. They want to get their greater Israel project. And also there's I think Cuba and Iran. I think there's only two or three countries that don't have a central bank, right? So I think Cuba and Iran, and maybe one more. So they wanna complete their plans. They want they wanna check off the checklist, of the NWO and the rest of their wicked plans, right? So right now we're in WW3 thanks to Amalek and the US, because they're owned by Amalek, because all the industries are Jewish. All the industries, everything is owned by small hat people. Hip hop industry, music industry, everything, the housing, uh, the government, like literally everything. So they they got them by the balls. I don't really like getting too detailed like that, but they control them, and they dragged them into war, and there's nothing that they could do. You know, this is let me get it. This is prophecy, by the way. Let me get Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens." So the Lord sets everything to happen during a certain time, you know, and during a certain season on earth. That's what under the heaven mean. Let me get verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right now we're not in a time of love, we're in a time of hate, and we're in a time of war. We're not in a time of peace. The time of peace will come after WW3, because the Lord is going to have the Edomites destroy themselves. The Russians are Edomites. They're going to shoot ICBMs on Babylon, America, which are Edomites, you know, and other nations too, like China, and the nations that have nuclear capability. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're not in a time of peace, even though President, DJT has the board of peace that he has to. He wants to replace the UN or the NATO with the board of peace, and they have to pay like $1 billion to get in. It's crazy. But right now we're in a time of war. Let me get Habakkuk chapter 2 in verse 2. It says, no, like 2 in verse 3. For the vision is there for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So the vision is talking about the prophecies, because the prophets got the prophecies through dreams and visions. For the vision is there for an appointed time, and prophecy means to say before. And the prophets was given the visions by the Most High, right? And the dreams, and then they prophesied, and they also wrote down on scrolls. And then through time, through hundreds of years, the Lord allowed those records, to combine eventually into the scriptures, into the Bible. The Bible is a compilation of books as written by Israelites, because the prophets are Israelites. For the vision is set for an appointed time, so the prophecies, which means to say before, is set for an appointed time. The prophets had those visions in the past, thousands of years ago, but the appointed time for the end time prophecies are right now. So the Lord had them set for a certain date to take place, for a certain time to take place, and it's right now. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Right now we're in the last days. We're at the end of the world. The world meaning age or rulership. It's going into eon. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And this right now is WW3. This is WW3. We're in WW3 right now. And there's nothing that they could do, because they need more bodies. They need more people to go to war. It says the selected service system plans to automatically register eligible American men between ages 18 to 26 for a U.S. military draft by the end of 2026. That's December, right? So ages 20 to 26. And I was watching the brother's video, and he's like, "Yo, they're gonna raise the limit, you know, and the age for you to join the military, I believe they raised it from 30 something to 42. But this conscription, this draft right here, I just recently learned that word. My vocabulary isn't perfect. I just recently, you know, started using that word. Conscription is another word for draft. So all these wines, especially, they're terrorizing their own people. They're gonna get drafted off. They're gonna get carted off. The proposal would implement a requirement passed by Congress to include automatic registration for every male citizens of the United States between those ages, and that's the wine age. That's the wine age range or age group. So, you're all bad. Be gangbangers and you know terrorize and do home robberies. I can't say that word. Home robberies and shoot people out of nowhere for like a gang, for like gang rituals and all that. Well, the Most High, is gonna prove that toughness. Salakia, I'm walking. There has been a lot. There has not been a military draft since 1973, when the U.S. involvement in the war in Vietnam was winding down. And I remember in school they taught us that the U.S. lost that war. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt recently said President Donald Trump keeps his options on the table when asked about chances of a draft returning amid the Iran war. So right now we're in WW3. Joel, the second and third chapter, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. I want to get one more scripture and end it. Should I get is the third woe cometh quickly, and another one. This is Revelation 11 and 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." The second woe was World War II. That happened during the 1940s. I forgot the exact dates, but that happened during the 1940s. And after that, America became a superpower because of what they did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then I believe uh, the nations had to heal, especially UK, Great Britain. So America got involved in the war late, and basically they became a superpower, and the U.S. dollar became the the world's top currency. The third woe cometh quickly, which is what we're in right now. So the draft is coming. It says the Selective Service System plans to automatically register eligible American men between the ages of 18 and 26 for a military draft by December. Almost half a century after compulsory registration for the draft for that age group became law, a government filing shows. So a draft is happening, and the other nations, right? I believe Denmark and Germany, the other nations, women have to go into it too. I have to go back and check, but in certain European nations, women women can woman can enter the military too. Let me see. So yeah, this is it. We're in World War III right now. Draft 2026 this year, December of this year, 2026. Oh yeah, let me get this. Second Esdras chapter, virgins mourn. This is the scripture that I got from that that brother. He was doing a video. He mentioned this scripture. I did a bit. I did a video before earlier, but I didn't like it, so I'm doing it over. Second Ezra 16:33 says, "The virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms; the woman shall mourn having no husbands; their daughters shall mourn having no helpers." And the virgin is just a term for a young woman. It does She could actually be a virgin, or she could be a young woman of a marriageable age. And they shall mourn having no bridegrooms, meaning like a fiance or a boyfriend, right? The woman shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers, because they're going to be drafted off to war, right? Verse 34, "In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine." So the young men between ages 18 and 26, as of right now, they might increase the age. They're going to be drafted off to war. All the wines, all the tough guys, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And the husbands that are left here, they're going to perish of famine. The ones that don't get drafted off. That's the end of the lesson. Lord was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Bashim Kakadash. Shalom.